Hi, I'm Coach Mike Krzyzewski, and welcome to Cameron Indoor Stadium. What an amazing place. Some outstanding games have been played here, and some great moments. Big dunks, three-point shots. But the most exciting plays that have occurred here are defensive plays. They've gotten the whole crowd up, and they've produced offense. We've built our teams over the years on outstanding defensive play. Now, how do we prepare our team to play good defense? Certainly, we have defensive drills and conditioning, our normal conditioning. But in the tape we're about to show you, we are specifically going to show you strength and agility drills, which will prepare your team, your kids, to play outstanding defense. These drills are geared to get you to have a wider base. Get your hips out. Get stronger, more explosive lateral movements to strengthen your hip and groin areas. They are specific for playing man-to-man defense. I hope you'll enjoy them. I hope you get a lot out of them, because to prepare to win is the first step to win. Before we dive into drills or practice, we always stretch first to help prevent our players from becoming injured, especially these drills, which will really be working the lower body. Our strength and conditioning coach, William Stevens, will take you through our stretching routine. Here we go.
We start each workout with a warm-up, and our warm-up is like a active warm-up or a dynamic warm-up to raise the guy's core temperature. What they're doing now, they're jogging the length of the court and back. And the warm-up will progress into different movements just to warm up to get the legs and the upper body, just to get the guys moving around a little bit, just to get a little sweat before we actually go into our stretching routine. On the high knees, you want to get the knees up to waist level, slightly forward lean. Work on the hip flexors. Okay, this is our defensive slide. They're sliding the half court, changing directions. Again, we're just working on warming up the legs and the groin area. And this is the karaoke. Again, what we're doing is just a warm-up, just to warm up the legs and the hips. And this is the back pedal, where they're back pedaling to half court and changing directions, jogging to the baseline. Now we're ready to go into our stretching routine. Here our guys are using our flex bands. We use the flex bands in the first part of our stretching routine. What they're doing is they're putting the band around their ankles. The band should be around the middle part of the foot. And what we're doing is loosening up the ankles and strengthening them at the same time. The guys are actually pulling on the inside or the outside of the cord, rotating the ankles. Just working on an inversion and eversion. Now they'll slide the band up to the ball of the foot, slightly bend the knee, and working on plantar flexion here. Okay, now we're going into our quad stretch. We're going to do both sides, right and left. Just want to make sure the kids are keeping their knees close together. You're pulling your heel back into your hip. Now we're going into our IT band stretch. You're stretching out the IT band and the piriformis here a little bit. What you want to do is have the kids put the leg right above the knee and grab the other knee on the other leg and pull it back. This is just another variation. We're not actually pulling the leg back in this stretch, we're just pushing the knee forward, which is also stretching out the piriformis area in the hip. Now we're going into the spinal twist. This stretch is excellent for stretching out the lower back. We just want to make sure the kids are completely rotated in the opposite direction of each leg. Now we're going into a groin stretch for the groin. Here you just want to get really low on the mat and spread your knees out as far as you can that is comfortable. And hold that stretch for around 10 seconds. Now we're going into our hip flexor stretch. On this stretch, you want to make sure the foot is flat, slightly leaning forward. Now we're going into our sumo squat stretch. Here you want to squat down, try to keep your feet flat on the floor, and take your arms and push your knees out wide. Here we're doing a standing groin stretch. Here you want to get the legs out wide as far as you can, and you can rotate from right to left. Just add a little bit more stretch to the area. Okay, now our guys are walking back to the bleachers. We're going to do a calf stretch and an Achilles stretch. We're going to do right and left leg. You want to lean forward. Here the guys have their right leg back, the heel is flat, and you want to lean into it. Key to the stretch here, you want to keep the heel flat and keep your legs straight. And stretch out the calf area. And then we'll finish up with both legs back, slightly leaning forward. Okay, now we're going into our partner stretching where we're giving manual resistance to the guys that are on the floor. Here is our butterfly stretch. What we're doing is pushing down on the knees, and this is stretching out the groin area. Now our guys' legs are apart. We're going to do right and left side. Here you want to try to touch your toe, put your forehead on your knee, and keep your legs straight. And we're getting slight resistance here where his partner's pushing him a little bit so he can get a better stretch in the hamstring area and the groin. Okay, now we're going into hamstring stretch. You want to try to keep the leg straight. The partner is pushing the leg back. You want to try to keep the other leg on the ground. Now we're doing an Achilles stretch where the partner is pushing the toe of the foot down. Now we're going into a hip stretch. Again, you want to push the leg forward towards the head area, trying to keep the leg straight. Okay, now we're going into a rotational groin stretch where they're rotating the leg over to the side, which is stretching out the groin, and then from there they're crossing the leg across the body, going into a rotational hip stretch. And again, you're going to do both legs, so now we're going back into a hamstring stretch with the other leg. After we finish the partner stretching, we always jump rope for a couple minutes just to finish up our stretching and warm-up routine. We'll have the guys jump with both feet together. As you see, we'll have them do a side-to-side jump. Then we'll have them do double step, 2 on the right, 2 on the left. Then we'll go into a speed jump where they go as fast as they can. And then after that, we're ready for practice.
This is our defensive slide form drill. At first, we're going at like half speed, and the emphasis is on form and defensive stance. Get low. What we're trying to do is strengthen the hips and the groin, and we're also trying to get wide. You see how wide our guys are? And they're moving their feet. They're not crossing their feet. And they're focused on the guy in front of them. Eyes straight ahead. Okay, back and forth. And you do this a number of times.
Stay down, stay down. Good job.
And then you can increase the speed. And go back and forth, and you watch, and you're telling the kids to stay down, keep wide. Now look at the speed. Really good movement here. Really good movement. They're almost racing against one another, but they're not getting out of their stance. Again, looking straight ahead, focused on their man, really kicking those feet, staying wide. The hips and groin get really strengthened in this drill. All right, now we're going to put some resistance. You can see the bands on their feet, and this does great stuff for their hips and groin. And again, we start out at a slower speed, still down. Look, kicking one foot into the other, staying low. You really should be doing this throughout the season. You don't have to do it every day, but don't just do it in the preseason. This is stuff that should be done all year long. And these bands are an excellent addition to the defensive slide form drill. Now we're going to go quicker with it. And watch how fast our kids will go, even with these bands. There really is nothing better that you can do to get yourself in a strong defensive stance. This is such a simple drill, but an effective drill, and adding the bands, that resistance, takes it to another level. The kids like it too.
Good job. Go.
A natural progression from the defensive slide form drill is the mirror drill. Basically, we're a man-to-man team, and now you're getting partners stretched across half court. The kids in the white they're faking one way or the other, and the kids in the blue are trying to stay in front. You can do this for 12, 15 seconds and have the offensive player just do whatever he wants. I want to emphasize how low our players get. And when you get low like that, you get wide. A good defensive team is a wide defensive team.
Stay with them. Good job. Stay with them.
I love the mirror drill. What you're trying to do is to show your players how to stay in front of the man. No penetration, like in driving line. In driving line, when you're putting pressure on the ball, you don't want your man to be able to penetrate against you. I want you to take a look at some practice footage where we're working on driving line. Stay in front of the guys. Let the pass go through. Good, Reggie. That's it, Daniel. This isn't about stopping penetration by being here. This is about pressuring the ball. This is how we should look right here. You guys are playing like this. You're not attacking, you're reacting to what he does. We still need to attack like this. Otherwise, he's going to shoot in our face, or I'm just following him around. Need to get up. You're still about an arm's length away right up here. He can't put the ball right. I can still do this without going like that. Come right here. This is how I should look right now. Okay? Good. Let him catch it. We're not contesting right now. Okay. You don't have, when you do this, you see what happens? JJ's going to attack this right here. I can put pressure like this. As soon as you bring your arm right over here, you get off balance, and that's what he attacks. It's about this. I can still put pressure right over here. This is that mirror drill right now that you're doing, right over here. Okay? Come on. Good. Good, Dave. That's it. Good, Dave. Then it's an angle penetration. Good, good, JJ, good. This is a very unique drill. It helps us develop the muscle groups used in lateral movement. You can see where our kids try to simulate the action of a speed skater. They drive laterally, landing on the support leg and carrying the other leg behind. Each athlete then loads the support leg and explodes back with the same action in the opposite direction. The emphasis on this drill is on staying low and exploding laterally. And look at them move their arms. Again, you get outside your normal range of motion that you would have from just doing regular conditioning drills. Let's see it coming back. Really explode. Kick out. Extend yourself. This is so good for your hips. Teaches good coordination.
Get as wide as you can.
Again, getting outside your normal area. If you want to increase the limits, break the limits of what your team normally does, you got to do things like this to get them physically past where they have been. That's how you're going to get better.
Get as wide as you can.
Lateral bounds. This drill also develops the muscle groups used in lateral movement. Each athlete picks up the right leg, or in this case the left leg, and bounds laterally, leading with that knee and landing on that left foot first. And the emphasis is on driving as far laterally as possible without overreaching with the lead foot. Keep balance. Don't just reach with the foot. Drive it. And when you're doing this, keep your hips and your shoulders square, like you're facing the court right now. You do this on the sideline, have them face. Don't have them turn towards the baseline. They should be facing you. Have them look at you. That'll help keep them square. The defensive reaction drills are great. Here's how we coordinate it. The coach will use hand signals, and the players react by sliding laterally. This emphasizes quickness, reaction, and proper stance throughout the duration of the drill. A little bit of camaraderie there. See, the next group comes in.
Stay in your stance now. Stay in your stance.
And when he points, they go, and then when he points back, they got to really rush back to that cone. And they're reacting to hand signals, just like you would have to react quickly to change the direction in a ball game. Really upbeat drill. A lot of hustle, emphasis going on here. Kids like it. Now we're talking about reaction drills with the hip rotation. Again, the player reacts to the hand signals by rotating hips to the left and right. When you're doing this, though, maintain proper stance. Don't turn your shoulders. Do not turn your shoulders. What you're trying to do here is still look straight ahead, and you turn your hips. Kids are doing a really good job. Again, it's upbeat. There's a lot of enthusiasm during these drills.
Good job.
Now we vary it by using change of direction. Again, you're reacting to the hand signals by sprinting left, right, or even backpedaling.
Right there. Get back.
When the coach stops, the player has to stop.
Right there. Get back.
You bring your body under control. You sprint back to a starting point and wait for the next hand signal.
Get back.
This drill works on direction change, body control. Body control is very important, and speed.
Get back.
This is an excellent drill.
Get back.
Ready? Let's go.
This drill develops balance and footwork.
Outside each cone. Here we go.
Each athlete
Ready?
alternates running forward and sliding laterally around cones. The distances between the cones are varied. This is to force our athletes to adjust their footwork and balance as they complete the drill as fast as possible. Keep your shoulders and hips square. Drive laterally around the cone. And you can even time them. They can have a contest. You can actually split your team up here and do races. You're always thinking of ways of adding enthusiasm to your practice while also teaching skills. The other thing it does, it forces your athletes to concentrate. They're not just getting into physical condition, they're concentrating. There's camaraderie that's built during this drill. You can see the slapping of the hands. You know, guys are competing against one another. It's a race, but it's a race that needs to be done well, and it's a race that helps you develop this lateral quickness that's needed in our game. Look at our big guys here. You almost want your big guys to do this every day to help their foot movement.
Quick. Right, let's go.
We now have the barbell. This drill develops the ability to make the transition from sprint to defensive slide and back to sprint in a variety of directions. The athlete alternates sprinting and sliding around a series of cones, and they're actually in the shape of a barbell. The emphasis here is on the transition between the sprint and slide, and vice versa. This drill will develop the transition from that sprinting to defensive slide that you use all the time, focusing the concentration on doing this around the cones. What you want to do also is you want to keep your shoulders square, okay? You're not turning. Make sure that you stay down in a stance. Split your team up, and again, this is a good way of having a contest. 7 guys at one end, 7 guys at another. You're doing this in the parapet. To build up enthusiasm in a practice, these are wonderful things to do. Anytime you can work on skill and make it fun or a race, you're going to add to the quality of practice that you have.
Back again. Here we go. Ready, go. Get down quickly. Quick transition. Here we go.
Our next drill is full court defensive zigzag. How do you want to pressure the ball? Pick it up. Do you want to go full court, three-quarter court, half court, top of the key? How do you stay in front of somebody in a good defensive stance where you have the attention on that man? Good ball pressure. That's the start of any good defense. Over the years, I've had many National Defensive Players of the Year. Tommy Amaker, Steve Wojciechowski. They were as good as they could be, as anybody, in putting pressure on the ball. This drill will really help you.
Go.
Full court defensive zigzag is a drill that's been done for a long time. I can remember as a player doing this drill. It's really one of the staples of, good defensive play. Basically we're looking at form here. It's a good warm-up drill when you're first starting practice, just to get your kids accustomed after stretching to be in a good defensive stance. You got your whole team going throughout the whole court, staying down in a stance. What I have our guys doing during this time, they're talking to one another. Stay down, so you're helping with your communication. Get them to talk. You're okay, stay on top, I got help for you. Have them say the things that you want to be said when you actually put your defense together. While they're in a defensive stance, it's a good time to teach them the things that they have to say when they're in a stance. So don't just look at it as, oh, we're going to do this stance drill. Look at it as, hey, this is a building block of what we're going to do in our defensive system. And again, we like to use this at the start of a practice to warm up, or start of an individual workout where you might be working with 2 or 3 kids, just to get your legs in shape. You keep doing those full court zigzag drills and you're going to know how to stay down in a defensive stance. Those were drills without the ball. Now let's take a look at some practice footage where we do zigzag with the ball. Stay in front of the man. That's it, good. Concentrate. Good job. Keep your hands off. Play with your feet. Play with your feet. That's it. Good job, Patrick. That's it, Sean. 2 trips, yeah. Good job, JJ. That's it, Lee. In our defensive system, contesting or denial is huge. Now, we're doing all these drills without the ball, but we're trying to simulate here what a coach has with the ball. But you can still simulate your defensive drills. We'll walk you through it right now. First of all, you deny. Fake trap. Okay? You don't. Then you're in a stance when your man gets the ball. Now he goes inside. A guard will front the man inside, post defense. Now the offensive man goes to the help side. You come over, help and recover. Now you have to deny the flash pivot. Then you have to come back. Then you have to come and try to get that skip pass. That can also be a closeout. And you can do this at a number of buckets. Instead of having your team wait and you have 10 guys in line, you can even have your managers or have a player take the place of a coach. and have your players. If you have 4 buckets, you have 3 players at each bucket. Everybody is doing something. Everybody is doing something. This is an excellent way of simulating what you're going to be doing once you start your regular practice. There's no contact, no injury, but the kids are rehearsing. That's what they're doing. And they're staying in a stance the whole time.
Go away, Sean. All right, way to cut the baseline. Good job. Flash. You got it. Close out.
This is a new drill that we've started to use called Help and Recover, where we challenge the shooter, and it's a progression drill. The players are working on help and recover defense and attacking the ball handler. The drill works through a progression, moving players to different areas of the court, reacting to the coach's direction. The coach will point to a cone, and then he closes out to that man, okay? And then he sprints to half court. It's a help and recover. Your teammate's in trouble, react to him out on the perimeter, put pressure, and then we go down to the other end of the court. In this drill, we're putting them through movements that they're going to see in our regular half-court defense. Instead of just doing zigzag and contesting, these help and recover type of drills are outstanding in trying to give the kids the full system of defense. Get them to do all of their movements. React to the cone. You see where the coach points? That player has to close out, comes back to the middle, closes out again, sprints to half court. Now let's look at the same drill, but now you're coming down in transition. We're still helping and recover. We're coming down in transition. Oh, there's a guy open on the side. Come and get him. Guy open up on top. Close out to him. Sprint in a stance and close out. Close out and then again sprint back to half court. Okay, you're coming back in transition defense, and all of a sudden there's a shooter on the perimeter that you have to get to. This is such a good drill. It simulates what our kids have to do in the transition defense aspect of our game. You may not have a specific man now because of how teams come down on you, but you have to challenge shooters. Right in the middle, come over, come back, challenge a shooter, and then back to half court. So we've taken it from the baseline, and now we're taking it from half court. Help and recover, challenge shooters, and just progress. And again, you can still split this up on 2 ends of the court too, if you want to get more of your kids involved, and 2 coaches can be working on it. All right, in this drill, we're going to attack the shooter and then box him out. What we want to do is challenge the shooter, and then after the shot, again, there's no ball used, we crash the boards. The player focus right here, defending the shooter, box him out, and then rebound. And we like to rim touch right here. Yeah, it goes through the 3 things you want a kid to do. Put a hand up, block him out, go to the boards. But it also is an excellent conditioning drill. I mean, you're going back and forth to 5 different spots, or as many as you want. We have 5 here. That closeout, 5 straight times to close out, that's invaluable to get that type of foot movement. And again, to get them thinking, you know, sometimes we do just the box out. Right now we're teaching them closing out, box out, get the rebound. You're taking them to do a series of things with this drill. And again, it's an excellent conditioner. What we would try to do with our team is put together 4, 5, or 6 of these of these drills, split the team up, and for a 15, 20-minute period, have contests. See which team could beat the other. It's incredible for enthusiasm, and it breaks up the monotony sometimes that you get in practice sessions. Anything that you can do for enthusiasm while still working on the skills that you use, especially on the defensive end. A lot of times we just do that with offense and shooting, and we don't know how to create contests with defense. All of these drills that we're using can be used in that manner. We'll use all of these drills throughout the season so that we can maintain proper defensive stance.
Let's go, D. Let's go, D. Good, good, good. Get back. Get box out. Good. Come on, box him out, box him out, box him out, box him out. Good job. Finish, 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 finish. Clean the glass, clean the glass.
Our next drill is contesting slides. What we mean by contesting is to deny your man the ball. You not only want to put good pressure on the ball, you want to make it hard for your opponent to pass the ball against you. We're going to go through 1-on-0, 2-on-0, and 3-on-0 contesting slides. How do you move in a contesting stance as the ball moves? Over the years, we've had some outstanding contesters, guys who could really deny the ball, who are National Defensive Players of the Year. Billy King, our captain in 1988, who's now president of the Philadelphia 76ers. Grant Hill, an NBA All-Star. Shane Battier, a 3-time National Defensive Player of the Year. They worked at their contesting slides, their defensive footwork and movement. Let's take a look at the drills. This simulates the denial, but also takes our guys to different parts of the court and getting down in a contesting stance. The thing it also does, it helps our kids get wider. To me, in playing defense and being in the stance and the footwork, it's almost like learning how to dance. And you have to do these things at least every other day. We'll do these if we have even a late game at night during our shoot-around, just to get our guys in the frame of mind to play defense. And then simulate blocking out, seeing the ball, talking. Now, while these kids are doing this, we have them talking to the ball. In other words, he should be talking to the man on the ball. That's what we're trying to have imagination here. Like, you're okay, I got help for you. So none of these drills are silent. And you can go one side to the other, and of course you can use all the buckets. And it doesn't have to be a coach out there. You can have a manager or you can have another player and get a rotation where you have all your guys working at one time. Now we're coordinating it where we have 2 men going. With the ball right in the middle of the court, both guys are contesting. As the ball moves from one side to the other, the help side man opens up. This teaches our guys the important defensive principle of moving as the ball moves. And now, while they're in a contesting stance, they're still practicing how you go from ball side right here, helping out, shots taken, and we rebound. But then it also shows what you're doing on the help side, where you open up. Now you're opened up. Again, ball comes over, I got to help. That's it. You move as the ball moves, and it's in a coordinated effort with your teammate. In the last few years, we've added now 3-on-0. We're trying to do is have coordinated effort. You're not out there alone. There's a lot of congestion. You have people interchanging. A lot of times your kids will run into each other. How do you avoid one another while still staying in a stance? And then simulate 3 guys going to the boards. Coordinated effort. Look at that help side now. Then they exchange. As that man goes low, he has to open up. 3 men moving, and again, you're doing this for 10, 15 seconds, about the normal time you'd have an exchange, and guys are really then working together. I've used those contesting slides for years. You know, we use them throughout the season, the day before a game, actually sometimes the day of a game. If we play a late game during our shoot-around, just to put our guys in the mental state of mind, you know, to play good defense, to deny their man the ball. Now, that was without the ball. I'm going to show you a couple practice sequences where we go one-on-one contesting, okay? We want to take a look at that, just like the 1-on-0, but now we're going to go one-on-one. Let's go contesting. Don't let the man get the ball, but if he gets it, then go driving line. And so what I'm doing is I'm really going out to the side. Daniel, come on out over here. I'm really going out here. If he goes all the way out there, then I'm going to open up a little bit because that's where people start penetrating. If he gets it right now, then it's driving line. Again, fellas, the more you can get like this, you guys are still going like this. This is not what we want to do. I don't want this. As soon as I do this, I get off balance. I want this. I want to keep him within my shoulders, my arms right here. Then if he goes for a shot, I'll go after him, okay? Contestant driving line. Good job, Daniel. The agility shuttle is really an enthusiastic and a very competitive type of drill. The players will face each other at center court, and then both of them sprint to the three-point line and touch a cone. Then they sprint back across center court to the opposite three-point line, and then sprint back to center court. There's a lot of competition here. You know, you can have a team contest here on who's going to win, or again, pit 2 groups against one another. The drill emphasizes, of course, footwork, change of direction, speed, and really an important part of what we're doing, competition. There's a lot of competition here. I mean, these kids are really going after it.
Touch the cones. Good job. Go.
Now we're going to change the movements here. Instead, they're going around the cone, same distance,
There you go. Good.
but it shows you how to retreat.
Go.
You're coming
Last
here,
lead.
and now you're retreating. It's like transition defense. Get back, and then you would look ahead.
Good job.
Start off, go around the cone,
Good job.
sprint
That's it. That's it.
around the
Turn
cone,
and run.
and then come
Good
back.
job.
And of course, you can throw in a couple more
Run
variations,
past the center.
but these are 2 of the things that we like to do.
Make that turn, Doc.
Backward, hip, skips, and squat. And this works on the external rotation of the hips. The athlete will pick up one knee and skips backward as he carries the knee under the armpit and rotates the hips externally. Each athlete will alternate legs, skipping right, left, and right again, and squatting on the third while turning 90 degrees to the right. The athlete then continues to skip as he comes up and out of the squat position. Now you can do this over the half court like we're doing it, or full court, or a number of reps. Now the emphasis here is on keeping the shoulders square and knees high as the hips rotate backwards. You don't want the shoulders to turn until the athlete squats on the third step. This is a great drill for the hips. This is the speed skater sprint. Right along the sideline, they do their speed skater movements and then they sprint. They're driving left, right, rotating it, then driving to the left and sprinting to a designated distance, whether it be half court or a full court. The emphasis on this drill is staying low with aggressive rotation and drive of the hips, and then the sprint. This drill, it can be very, very fatiguing. Again, the speed skater form, do it a couple times with the movements, left, right, sprint. This is the whistle slide drill. Each athlete begins by sliding laterally, and at the whistle he breaks forward to a designated line. That line can be anywhere. Here it's the sideline, and then backpedals back to the original line. Each time the whistle is blown, the athlete repeats forward and backward action until the designated distance or reps are completed. What this drill does is develops defensive reaction. The emphasis is on squaring off cuts at 90 degrees and reacting to, not anticipating, the whistle. Athletes slide laterally as fast as possible while maintaining good defensive form. This is the hip rotational pull-through into the wall. It develops muscles necessary for lateral movement and rotational acceleration. You stand off the wall, keep knee up and toe up. Rotate inside knee first towards the wall and push as the athlete comes out of a squat position and then return to the squat position. Real easy thing to do. Again, you can use this during a warm-up or stretch. Anything you can do to get those hips moving. Now this is just a lateral wall sit. Looks like they're stuck on Velcro here up against the bleachers. It fatigues you. You can see the pain on the kids' faces right now because they don't use these muscles. It's really good for you. And of course you go one side and then the other. And you can do this for a certain amount of time, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. You work your way up. Look how far we get down here. You put your back flat against the bleachers or wall. And you can do this actually for a minute, even up to 2 minutes at a time. Great strengthener for your quads. Real easy thing to do. You can do them anywhere. As long as you have a wall, you can find them pretty easy. I certainly hope you enjoyed those drills. Boy, it feels good just having those youngsters get down in a stance, getting those hips out, that explosiveness in their lateral movement. I know that they'll be able to play really good defense. I hope you'll do these drills and that your defense will be at the level you desire. Good luck to you.